Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Actuality. You've been away in shadow, but it's time to come back. Come back to Saturnine, an invisible sun, and a woman with hollow eyes. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. I'm Darcy Ross. I'm going to be our GM, and this is a development mode session of A Woman with Hollow Eyes, previewing the characters that we would get to see in Season 2 if the Kickstarter that is going on right now funds and we can do more episodes. So without further ado, why don't I introduce my two players here, and we'll get rolling into some really, really cool stuff, possibly previewing what might be in these mysterious boxes.
Yeah, can we get a close-up on the mysterious boxes, Darcy?
They're very mysterious.
They are quite mysterious. So we've seen some boxes before. We are no strangers to boxes in this town. And yet, some new boxes.
Made of boxes.
Some new boxes have arrived.
Cubes, if you will.
James, you're particularly irate by the boxes. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I am James D'Amato. You might know me from the One Shot podcast or the Campaign podcast. But when I am on A Woman with Hollow Eyes, I play Calvin Weaver, a Weaver who's trying his best. He recently emerged from Shadow, or not recently, I actually have no idea how much time we might be skipping. So he's been out of Shadow for a while, and he is ever so slowly learning the ins and outs of actuality and getting used to the ridiculous power that he has, and his missions in life are simple. Reconnect with old friends, learn old skills, and develop a new world that he can live on free from all the bullshit of all the rest of reality.
Is that so much to ask?
Is that so much to ask? Make your own universe? I don't think so.
And here we have Adira, who's going to be our new player for the game, for the season, if we fund. So why don't you introduce who you are and your character?
Yes. Sorry. Hello, I'm Adira Slattery. My pronouns are she, her. And I am going to be playing Shayna Zman. Shayna is the character that we made in the previous stream, but we never said a name.
No,
Yeah.
so spoilers.
So Shayna is an apostate who is also returned from Shadow, but unlike Calvin, she is a bit more comfortable with some of the craziness going on around her in Saturnine, except for most of the government and structure and society, which she mostly wants to burn down. So yeah, that'll be a fun time.
All right. As any good apostate, you want to break with those structures. So why don't we find out what's in this box that relates to your apostateness? So I'm not sure what camera's best to show this off, but we're going to open this up. We're going to take out a secret that I'm not going to read even to stream. But,
What?
Yeah,
What do they have to
I
pay?
know.
What does the Kickstarter have to hit?
That's a good question.
If you can fund the Kickstarter by the end of the stream, we will give you this secret. Tell your
true.
friends now. Go to Twitter, go to Facebook, go anywhere. If you fund this Kickstarter, we're giving away that secret. And
I'll give away both. We have 2 boxes,
we've
2
got
secrets.
2 boxes, we've got 2 secrets.
Crazy.
We ordered too many, and we're passing the savings on to you.
When are we going to get commercials for the next season?
James's Discount
we
Secret
need
Emporium.
it.
Yeah.
So this is an order medallion. So, in Invisible Sun, lots of these organizations and people are really proud of the different ways that they view the actuality and the strange powers that they have. So apostates, you'll find many who don't want to deal with medallions of their order, but a few do have, for some reason, and this might even be related to a deeper secret of apostatedom, right? But a few apostates do tend to wear this same medallion symbol on their dress in some way. So if you would like to wear the apostate symbol, you can do so.
Ooh, that's very, very cool.
Yeah.
I am
See if it hits the microphone.
Yeah.
deeply curious about how an order of anarchists goes about deciding on a symbol
Well-
for their order.
Are you familiar with the Anarchy A?
I am familiar with that. Yeah.
That's a
I
great
mean,
point.
I want to know how the decision gets
I
made.
bet there's some reasoning behind it. Again, secret, not for the likes of us. I want to put this under the camera if it shows up at all. It's very shiny. So this is the Weaver Medallion. Again, an organization that's a little more separated into little enclaves, but has a little more cohesion than the Apostates. And Calvin you might want to wear this, or I think what Calvin actually wears in a day-to-day. I promise we're going to get done with the props section and get on to playing. But
I hope we stay in the prop section
Yeah,
for a
props
very
are
long time,
sweet.
because
High five, props.
Yeah.
I'm getting presents right now, and ain't nothing I love more than presents.
This-
Except my wife.
So you'll
Darling,
note that
if you're
as we move down the path of suns, we start at silver. We go through green and blue and indigo and all the colors that make up the path of suns. But we end at gold. Gold has a special meaning to our friend Calvin Weaver here. And gold medallion is what you will have. So yay. It has the symbol of gold on it, and it has particular secretive design elements that also might indicate gold to you that we'll see if James can figure out at some point.
Yeah,
So-
let's see if I figure things out.
All right, so that is the prop section of this particular development mode. So development mode is something that Invisible Sun you can do over Slack. It's play away from the usual accoutrement of the table, right? So it might be one-on-one in a coffee shop, and we really like it because it's super fluid, and Adira hasn't built a whole character yet because we're just starting, and so we can play without having every spell that Shayna knows.
Mm-hmm.
So, but why don't we start with, goodness.
Ooh, yeah, cool. Redraw to
redraw.
use as I wish. I won't use that power responsibly. I can tell you that for free.
Yeah. Speaking of other bits-related things, before we dive into this, we maybe have an idea for a bit-related event at the end, because I'm a bad Vizsla, and I haven't read the secrets packet still.
Yeah.
Because I have a deep and abiding fear of
Place
it and
this
what it might mean for me.
intimidating secrets packet on the close-up cam.
The seal on the back, there's a wax seal. I'm very intimidated.
When you GM a game of Invisible Sun, you have this fun packet full of secrets about the game and the game world and maybe characters. I have no idea what could be in there, but there's secret information in there, and Darcy has not read it, partially because we did not have access to it when we first did Invisible Sun. But now we have the Black Cube. We have all the secrets. We have access to them. So Darcy very well could read these secrets. She is the GM of our game, and she's entitled to them. But we figured it would be fun if we can. Let's make it a Kickstarter goal here.
Ooh, I like that.
That's where we're channeling our funding right
Yeah.
now. Not that bits aren't good. We love bits. Bits are wonderful.
Bits are great.
This is a one-shot production after all.
Yep.
We love our bits. But at the start of this stream, our Kickstarter is already ballooned up to 2468.
Okay, yay.
So
Thank you for everyone who's backed.
if we can hit, I want to make it ambitious, but like still possible to hit. If we can hit 2,800 by the end of the stream, we're going to force Darcy to read a secret. And for every
It's going to be very embarrassing for me, I hope you all know.
for every
I've been warned.
$100 we make after that, Darcy will have to read another secret. I don't know if there are multiple secrets in
Yeah.
there.
I think there are.
I have
don't
no
know.
idea how it works. But Darcy will read a secret on air, and she will react in real time. So if you know any of Darcy's friends who would love to see her squirm, this is a great opportunity to contact them and get them in here so we can see Darcy react to some secrets on air. I am so curious about what could be in there.
Oh my goodness.
And I would
Very
like,
nervous.
it's honestly going to kill me to watch somebody reading those secrets
No.
and not know what they
Yeah.
are.
No.
So
This is if you want to kill them,
Yeah.
emotionally, not physically, you should also tell their friends that they get, have
Yeah.
to have secrets read to them and not get to know their contents. So
Yeah.
that would be great.
very good, very good.
All right. So I think we should, before I get pre-bashful for what's about to happen, I need to launch into game. So I think, development mode often starts with one of you players wants to do a thing. And so you'll come to me wanting to do a thing, and we will, launch into that. We'll discuss it a bit, and then we'll draw a Sooth card when we find we need that. You're touching the secrets, James.
I want them.
You don't get to read them either unless the Kickstarter funds.
God damn it! What?
You did this.
I've done this.
But I think, there's a lot of questions we have about these two characters. One of the big ones is, how did they meet, right? How do you two get looped up? And I thought it might be fun to start with a Sooth card, just as sort of inspiration for the kind of starting point of where we're going to vignette through scenes today. Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
I love
All
it.
right. I'm going to draw a Sooth card.
Ooh.
Yeah, and remind me what your two special Sooth cards are.
The Impossible Game?
Yes, I think that's the one. It's got to be the one.
Yeah.
And we have, of course, the Golden Ship.
The Golden Ship.
The Forbidden Game and the
Forbidden
Golden
Game.
Ship.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, so the first Sooth card of the day. Are we going to allow redraws?
Yeah, well, I mean, we've already got one on
That's
the books.
true, yeah. So redraws are in play. This is good. So first we're going to start with Ambassador.
All right,
Which
the Ambassador is of the Visions family.
Yep.
All
So
right.
exciting.
Diplomacy, reason, discussion, intelligence. The divination. For some, the Ambassador card is a blessing. She indicates that calm heads and reason must prevail to remain on the path to success. That intellect is superior to brawn, and conversation is greater than conflict. But to those who already plan more direct, confrontational, or even violent approach, this card can be a thorn in their side.
That is exactly what I was thinking. So I was wondering if we might start with a day in the life of Shayna.
Sure.
But I think this card speaks to me about Shayna, I think. Although it definitely, you run afoul of the powers that be on a number of occasions yourself, Calvin.
I do, but perhaps I would like to resolve those conflicts with conversation, though Calvin, being an impulsive force of chaos, probably not great at that.
Probably not. All right, so I think this directs me to start on a day with Shayna. So of course we are zooming in outside your house. You have the is it green stucco, the unstucco in time house, and it looks very uninteresting on the outside, or at least very passé for people walking by.
Yeah.
Of course, your
For
house
Saturnine, especially.
exactly. Now your house moves around a bit. Who do we see next to you today? What's the house on your left, and what's the house on her right?
So I think the house on Shayna's left right now is a tall, massive, severe spire of brick.
Ooh.
Protruding from the spire itself are a number of little bumps and warts and curves as the spire twists and heads up into the sky, impossibly tall.
Beautiful.
Very, very cool. I think the house on the other side is also made of brick. But this house is notable because that brick is not held together with cement or mortar of any kind, because the brick happens to have been dropped there, because it is the home of the coincidence.
Yay!
All of the roof tiles are laid on, and again, they were laid on by chance. They just happened to be there, so they're not fastened in any way.
We definitely see the coincidence as we're coming in. I'm not sure we know what they look like yet, do we? Maybe I'll draw a card, or
Yeah, coincidentally, they look like that.
coincidentally, they are definitely a ghost. I'm just going to take that straight up, or at least very ghostly.
Yeah.
I like them being ethereal.
Yeah, very ethereal. I think they've got like a smoking jacket on right now, and they're sort of at this maybe open, beautifully opened doors or big windows that open as they approach the wall. And of course, they're an architecture critic, so they're scowling in their smoking jacket down upon Shayna's house. So zooming in closer on Shayna's house. What are you found doing when you're just at home on a usual Saturday?
Generally, on the weekends, Shayna doesn't spend all too much time at home. Coincidentally, it's pretty useful that she landed right here because she was gonna go run some errands nearby. So that's pretty nice.
Oh, great.
It usually works out when the coincidence is around.
Yeah.
So that's why she banks up her errands and saves them up for the weekends.
Nice.
So generally on a Saturday, Shayna spends just the minimum amount of time in her house doing the standard sort of things in her house, like cleaning the time and space of the house, all
Yes.
those things. You gotta
It's the
rinse it
time
out.
really gets a lot more dirt than the
Yeah, it
space.
really does.
And everybody pictures it as the space, but
Yeah.
it's the time that you got to watch out for.
Yeah. So dealing with like time filters and things like that, just sort of kicking them out.
And of course, you're all in like intricate, like strange clashing patterns and stuff,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Shayna wears an impossible garment
Yes.
that she can reshape every single day in a different fashion. Some days it's a tailored suit, some days it's a fancy dress. They've always got nice clashing pockets.
Yeah. And I think inside the house, you can tell something happens while you're doing your errand. While you're doing your errand inside the house, that makes you realize, oh, the coincidence must be next door. Like, what was that thing that happened? That total coincidence.
Shayna was kicking out the time filter,
Yep.
and one of her plates that she had misplaced was in there.
Okay.
Oh, splendid. Yeah. And it was clean.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a couple moments on there, but you just blow those off.
Yeah, that's pretty easy.
Unless they get stuck. The stuck
Yes.
moments are the tough ones.
But those usually hang on to the filter pretty good. That's
Yeah.
why you have the filters.
Yeah. So one of you two, your neighborhoods, your Garant sort of lives really close to you in that neighborhood often. Do you think that's you, or do you think we had the Garant? There's a new election
Alderman
coming.
Garant.
Alderman Garant is up for election in your town. So I
Yeah.
think if you're okay with it, would you
Sure.
like this cool map of the neighborhood that I will put up online later to be of your street? So I think today you showed up on Limerence Street, which might be relevant to anyone who's playing the directed campaign. This is a map I stole whole cloth from that. So we're starting to live in your neighborhoods. Get ready.
Yeah.
Cool. So we're just going to have that there. What errand are you about to go out on?
Well,
It's a beautiful fall day in Fartown, as it always is. Just
Yeah.
a gentle chill in the air.
so Shayna has to head down to the Garant's office and yell at him.
Okay.
For being the
straight
Garant.
up. Excellent.
There's has to be a minimum amount of sort of fist shaking.
Yeah.
And scowling and just sort of general complaining done to one's sort of local representatives.
Yeah.
Because you can't make their life too easy.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, so you get ready. You're going to yell. What are you sort of bringing to the table? Is it general complaints, or is it specific how the Garant is, these people are trying to, how the housing, the housing co-op is getting on your case, or is it about your pro void punks and the void in the area needs to be saved, or
Yeah, it's likely some just sort of generic chants about the void itself.
Oh, excellent.
And the sort of character of the neighborhood.
Beautiful. I love
Yeah.
it. So you start going out toward the Garant's office. James, you are free to, if you have an idea about how Calvin might coincidentally be running into our Shayna on the way.
Oh, yes, indeed. Calvin is currently in the area looking very carefully around the neighborhood, taking note of people walking by and sort of like getting nervous as more people are around him, and like looking behind bushes, around houses. He looks like he wants to go and check in people's yards and whatnot, but would be too polite to actually like cross the boundary onto some grass or lawn or anything to do that, because Calvin is currently looking for a bird.
Okay, nice. So you come out of your house, and I think you should, let's draw a card to see how you notice each other, run into each other.
Monty Cook is a sorcerer. Monty Cook is a sorcerer.
Oh,
Are you kidding me?
the golden ship.
I don't know why I ever try to make anything happen in this game. Like, oh, James, why don't you find out a way for Calvin to come in? The card would have told me. Okay, well, noted. Noted, Soothdeck. Chill your roll. All right. So I think this is going to be a very canonically canon, very iconically Calvin moment.
Great. I think then that this person is walking down the street and Calvin sees his bird in the window of your neighbor's house, standing probably behind the neighbor. This bird is a Titanus walleri. It is 8 feet and 9 inches tall. It is a very large prehistoric bird with a huge bill. It looks sort of like a souped up dodo.
What color is it?
Well, you know, that's the thing with ancient birds. They can come in all sorts of different colors. This one, it's got, you know, probably a yellowish beak, but it has one of those facial structures with bird skin that, like, there's a lot of different colors going on in the skin. So, like, kind of a reddish purple neck, blue around the eyes, like almost toucan-y. And I'm going to say that it's very on point for Invisible Sun, very on the nose, in that all of the color variations on it, including its face, its bill, its feathers, they're all the sun's.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah.
So standing, imposing behind the ethereal, scowling form of the coincidence. All right.
Oh my God, no!
Excuse me?
I'm sorry, I don't mean to trouble you. This wouldn't happen to be your house, would it?
That one?
Yes.
No.
The bricks?
No, that's his house.
No. Okay. Well, then.
There's a bird there.
Yes. Yes, there is a bird, and it is very aggressive, and I can't seem to catch it. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bother you at all.
Well, I'm sure it'll start to work out for you now.
That's never how my life has operated before, but thank you for your positivity. I
No,
really appreciate
just
it.
come this way. Come on. Shane nudges open the gate of the architecture critic's house.
Of Sir Hamish Norton's house.
Yeah.
Sir Hamish Norton, architecture critic and coincidence. Calvin sort of like follows, you know, suspicious that anything could ever work out for him.
Yeah.
And he, you know, he goes through the yard, and this yard I think is impeccably managed. And I don't think it's like a grass yard or a plant-based yard. I feel like it's all structural things.
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah, it's totally a geometric sculpture garden.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of spandrels about and
Concrete topiary. Yeah.
Excellent.
This is actually very lovely.
Yeah.
You can see
He's got good taste.
you can see Sir Hamish Norton getting more and more stiff and sort of bracing himself for the impact of you coming over.
Yeah.
You know, scowl getting even, you know, big fluffy white ethereal eyebrows getting more and more angered.
Shayna walks up.
Has not noticed the enormous bird behind him.
Coincidentally, he's not
Coincidentally.
noticed it. Shayna walks up towards the door, looks on the grass nearby, picks up the key, and unlocks the door.
Excellent. You come into a beautiful foyer with what's one of your favorite foods or drinks? You know, something or a piece of art that you really like?
Ooh, man, what does Calvin really like as a piece of art?
A painting of himself? A painting of Librelite?
That could be quite tasteful. I think there's a very tasteful painting of Librelite done in the Alphonse Mucha style. So it's just this Art
Goodness.
Nouveau
Yeah.
piece that is very like fine of him. That is a lovely piece. Why is there a painting of my husband here?
As you turn back to Shayna, behind Shayna as she enters, in that style of that really great artist of the Titan eating his children.
Oh yes, the black paintings. It's a Spanish artist.
Chat,
I went to
help us
art
out.
school.
Please save us.
It was
Please
so
save
good.
us.
It starts with a C or a G.
In a real spooky way, Goya, thank you.
Thank you.
In the manner of Goya, there is an image of the red full of demons, and it is, if not, there's some sort of hazily painted figures, but it is exactly the sort of fortress in the red that you and your companions went to infiltrate, and you and You can, even if you squint very hard, why might that be Wayne's house over there? But it's a little hazy. It's hard to tell, but it's for all the good that the Mucha painting of your husband is doing for you. There's also far dark, more sinister coincidence happening here too. So, but you come in,
Yeah.
you hear some footsteps coming down the
Wait,
stairs.
I thought you said this wasn't your house.
No, it's not.
Then why did we open the door?
Because the key was right there.
My, what do I have here?
Hamish, hello. How are you today? Are you having a good day?
Exactly the day I wasn't expecting, but was perfect for the day to become. You know how coincidences are.
Of course.
But I do have to say that you are a little unexpected, or at least you were not the specific visitors I expected. Sir Hamish Norton, charmed, I'm sure, moves back to Shayna. What is it you want, Shayna?
Yes. So, first off, you could be a little nicer, you know? He saw a lot of paintings of things that he seems to be able to recognize. Why no paintings of me?
I work very hard to keep the coincidences, within my realm. It seems to unnerve most of my other neighbors.
Well, they should just get over it.
Ooh, I'm happy to put you past the wards. It's more of a safety mechanism for my neighbors, but I do warn that the coincidences near your house may become even more pronounced. But I suppose you're right. Perhaps I was unduly short with you. Is there some business I can help you with?
Well, good. I'm so sorry to disturb. You have one of my pens in your home.
Pens.
Yes, it is a pen, very distinct, because right now it looks like a very large bird.
He pulls out a pen, and it looks exactly like the pen, but before it turned into a bird. Well, I believe I had this from the recent stay at a hotel, but if you're certain it's yours,
How did you change it back? It's a whole thing we have to do.
he looks perplexed a bit, and I think he says, certainly there are simpler ways to resolve this, and he chucks the pen up the staircase, and it just as it's doing so, it sort of plops against the big sternum of that fluffy bird, and that squawks down the staircase in the very cramped quarters.
We can see that it has clearly wrecked up some stuff. I think this bird is like covered in blueprints right now, and it's just like there's feathers that are trailing all around the upper levels of this place, which again, the staircase, I think, is like a spiral staircase that is propped up by boards and objects that are very tastefully arranged in a very modern design sensibility.
Yeah.
But again, none of it is bound or
Right.
nailed into place because it all just happens to be laid there.
Yeah.
This bird, I think on its beak, stuck through its beak, is a very important and relevant piece of work that our dear friend, the architectural critic, was working on.
And indeed, I don't know why we even bother. I could have guessed exactly what all these cards were going to say to me. Forgotten Prisoner is the card I draw as I'm trying to figure out, is he benevolent about it? Is he mad? Its meanings are injustice, bad fortune, memory loss, or something lost. So indeed, whatever this thing's beak is through is a irreplaceable dear item to Sir Hamish. Do you happen to know what that might be, or?
I would say it's a paper that he's begun to write, his novel that he is going to soon
no.
publish about architectural theory in Saturnine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Excellent. So chat, I want to know what that novel's about, or what it's titled, right? His work in progress, architectural theory of
Yeah.
Saturnine novel. but you can see that the bird beak has not only struck through it, but you can see that it wasn't actually written in ink, but it was written in little ants. And those ants are now frightened and running away from the neat little cursive letters that they were in, starting to scatter up the wall. And what are some of the words that we see them forming as they run away?
I think they're changing.
Yeah.
I think the novel, Write What You Know, it's very much architecturally oriented. So
Yeah.
we're seeing words like gazebo. We're seeing words like buttress.
Yep.
And they are changing into freedom and liberty.
Oh, no.
And food.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, they are ants after all, so they do have a concept of liberty and freedom, but food is still quite important.
Ontology.
So they are scattering about the house, causing quite a bit of chaos and a lot of distress in Sir Hamish Norton. The bird has come down. He snaps his finger, and some sort of little velvety like ribbons sort of emerge from behind some curtains and wrap this enormous bird up and sort of scoot it outside the front door, past all of you, getting pushed back a bit in this cramped hallway, sort of packed with all sorts of features unnecessarily. And he turns to the two of you and he is going to curse you. He is very pissed. That was my finest work. So I'm going to need, we would have rolls here, but let's just draw a card.
Ooh.
So, okay, he's about to try to curse you. Do you guys try to do anything? You can see him starting to move some ethereal fingers that are becoming smokier and smokier, sort of even starting to become runes themselves.
Counterspell?
I think that's a lovely idea. Let's find out if it works. Are you doing anything?
Calvin is just trying to utter an apology.
Oh,
he
no.
feels very terrible that.
Revealing knife. I love it. So
Man, a very popular one from last season.
Yeah, definitely. Its meanings are revelation, discovery, and finesse.
Was the revealing knife Wayne's card? Or that was the elusive sleep? No. I can't remember if the revealing knife was.
I'll have to look it up. I forget. The revolutionary was going to be his new card.
Yeah.
Sad. Wow. Oh, this is so funny. The revealing knife cuts everything. It slices through buildings or mountains as easily as paper or flesh. Just as that beak had cut through. So I think you can feel a curse starting to get swept up in front of you, and you start trying to counterspell it. So what does that look like for you?
So
His was the misremembered.
Thank you.
Dream.
Perfect.
The revealing knife is the card that he drew when he was trying to search for the blue sun.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So for Shayna, for counterspelling, a lot of it doesn't necessarily look like any like mystical movements or words or things like that. She just reaches out and tries to physically grab the spell with her hand.
Excellent.
Ooh.
I think so. So you grab it, and it seems to morph in your hand a little bit. And because you do it so perfectly, so with such finesse, you turn it a bit, and you get a glimmer of information about Sir Hamish Norton itself.
Ooh.
So I'm going to give you a secret about Sir Hamish Norton that you can feel it sort of settling in your mind. You can tell that there's some sort of meaning there, but it doesn't quite coalesce. So I will give you a secret related to him for Shayna. So revealing knife, revealing even about its caster. So you, what do you say to him after he attempts to curse you and fails? He crosses his arms.
Hamish, why do you keep trying this?
Just because you find the key outside my door doesn't mean I want you in here, Shayna. I have a right. In any case, perhaps I acted out of anger. So he's sort of hot and cold all the time.
I am so sorry. That pen has been causing me no end of trouble all day. I have been through dozens of neighborhoods trying to find it. I am so sorry. I would pay for any damages. Please, I saw it must have wrecked up some papers or something. It loves papers. Is there anything that I can do? I would be happy to replace anything that you've lost.
Should we maybe get rid of the bird in the garden?
We cut to the bird is next to an even more enormouser statue of a bird, right? And is starting to give
do a
elaborate mating ritual,
Yes.
courtship movements near it.
We have a few minutes, and I just want to make sure that I've tabulated all of my debts before, because I'm gonna forget. If I don't know what's happening now, I'm gonna forget.
I would deign to accept. Which heart are you of?
I am of the storm.
Well, that would do. Would you mind, just for the damages, a vial of blood would do nicely. Sort of pulls out of his smoking jacket a little vial, but it's sort of got weird spikes coming out of it, like the glass has been blown in a very strange way. Sort of hands it to you. For your standard rituals.
Boy, yeah, I'm trying to remember if there's anything that I'm supposed to know about blood. And we're just gonna go ahead and agree to that
Is this
because
your friend?
I'm too socially
No, I've
awkward
never met him
to
before. think
of anything else.
Of course not.
It was just a coincidence.
Well, I fear the coincidences you two might get up to in the future, so perhaps coincide elsewhere in the future.
So while
Yeah.
Calvin is thinking about whether
Yeah.
about what to
He's
do with the
like
vial,
looking at the vial. He's got the vial in his hands now. And he's
Shayna's just sort of going to poke her head out the door
Yeah.
and see if she can just hurl the curse that's in her hand towards the bird.
Towards the bird.
Yeah,
Excellent.
that'll deal with it.
Yeah, that definitely deals with it. So the curse sort of is scintillating in the light a little bit, and it's sort of trying to burst against the hold you have on it, and you sort of chuck it right at the bird, which is moving around this even more enormous bird statue. It hits the bird, and what would a truth be that bird would speak as it's as it speaks something, some closely guarded secret or some powerful feeling? What strong evocation would this bird give out?
the bird is a pen.
The bird
in
is a
its
pen.
Normal
Yes.
life.
Does it like being a bird more? Or does it like being a pen more?
Well, frankly, I don't think we get to know because what it says is the end
Oh,
and disappears
perfect. Yep.
in a puff of multiple colored feathers, and as the feathers sort of fall to the ground, they disappear.
Looking a little inky as they go. Lovely. So the
Dealt with.
dealt with. You have a vial of
Yeah.
potential blood in your hand.
I think he was mostly figuring out how do I do this in a way, because I think Calvin is too socially awkward too. If somebody's requested blood of him, he feels obligated to give them blood, even if just signing a document is a very bad idea. I can't imagine you want to go around giving out blood, but here we are.
In your experience, you want to be careful with your blood, but that's, the Vizsla trade and
Yeah.
having blood from people of different hearts is kind of a normal thing. So you don't see
not
too
a
much in
whim.
it.
Yeah, nobody taught Calvin these things.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Calvin, it's something that's so obvious. Why would you bother to tell somebody that it's
Yeah.
normal to pay people in blood?
Yeah.
Sir Hamish Norton is getting a little impatient.
Yeah, I think Calvin
See, the clocks are going, clicking louder.
was working on exactly which spells that he wanted to use to move some of his blood into the vial. And I think he's going to use thunder and wind. So the way it happens cannot be subtle or gentle.
Oh no.
But it moves with grace and speed. So it there is a thunder crack as a wisp of blood flows out of his hand and dances about the room, and I think separates into many tiny birds that fly
Beautiful.
into the vial until it is closed up.
You can see one of the bird's talons sort of pulls the cork shut.
Yes.
But one speck of blood flings off and hits the painting of the demons in the red. You notice that one tiny mote of it hits that. But yes, the blood is stoppered. Sir Hamish looks very pleased, not menacing, but quite happy. A little loud, but
I'm so sorry. I'm sure there are a bunch of other ways to do that. And again, I
The usual
apologize
ones.
Yes.
so much. I guess I'm going to have to get a new pen. Again, if I've caused any...
please take it.
Not sure how the pen separated from the bird. Okay. Well, thank you very much. I'm so sorry to bother you. Thank you for all of your help.
Yeah, it was no
it's-
issue.
Yes. And I think he will get distracted by that little blob of blood that hit the painting.
Yeah.
And I think he initially goes over to like wipe it away or something like that. But is there anything about that he should notice?
Interesting. We might draw a card to whether he notices anything particular. Your time here, your welcome here is starting to dwindle. The Savage Sword, of course it is. Very cool. So let's find out what that is and see if you can find out anything more about this painting. You also are getting, this happens every time you're in the Coincidences house,
Yeah.
though, right? Of course, he's going to be drawn to something that resonates with him. This is just very usual. The meanings are war, savagery, strength, violence, and brute force. And I think what we see is there's a smudge that, sort of an impressionistic smudge that might be Wayne's sphere. There are some figures approaching this giant fortress in the red. There are some demons floating around like you do. But also in the far distance, there is what you kind of see that there's a river behind there, some sort of river over some hills, and there's a navy kind of moving in toward what seems to be approaching the fortress. And you can see lots of fashionable little smudges that might be sort of pointed navy hats.
Realizing that he hasn't done any more damage to the painting and like sort of being struck by it a little bit and very much feeling the Coincidences dwindling patience for his nonsense, Calvin moves towards the door. I know I've already been so much of a bother and I hate to impose any more, but would you mind telling me where you acquired these works of art?
Well, I believe it was actually, it was an estate sale, one of these old war families that never came back to their mansions. His eyes sort of linger on you a moment, Shayna. Yes, the exchange of what happened to houses pre and post the war are sort of an interesting story in and of themselves. So I acquired these from an estate sale, and I'm afraid I wouldn't know which. They're actually not even held within a single estate. They're sort of gathered from many of the sort of ruined parts of the city and gathered what we can and redistributed to the living or the remaining, the ones in actuality. So, yes, I'm afraid I could try to, he pulls out, he goes searching through a drawer and he pulls out a business card. This is an art dealer I deal with on occasion. If you ever were curious about, improving the look of your own home, externally or internally, my services as a neighbor, would be very, very minimal cost.
Oh, I'm sure they would be, and I really appreciate that offer. But I'm just so very happy with my house that I'm sure doing anything to it might upset the delicate balance. I really appreciate it, though.
Well, that art dealer, I know that he's come by once or twice. He would be the gentleman you might have seen. He has a large porcelain face with those beautiful markings on it.
Yes.
I'm sure you've seen him. He tends to frequent the coffee shops near here, sort of works around several areas,
Yes.
especially those up and coming new coffee shops.
Of
Very
course.
lovely. So if you were looking to find him in a more expedient manner, I suspect Shayna might be able to help you introduce you.
Oh, well, thank you very
Would
much.
you like to get some coffee?
Okay, yeah, that pen was my day, so sure.
Let's get some coffee.
Oh, goodness.
And Shayna stomps out.
Yeah, all right. That's going to be the end of that particular scene. So, cool. Do you want to, so we kind of know how they met, right? A little bit, sort of this coincidence, this curiosity of the painting. Do we want to pick up right there, or do we want to let more time pass and your paths keep crossing? You know, do you have any ideas?
Well, Shayna's would probably try and get Calvin to burn down the coffee shop if they went to it together.
I think we do have to see
Do you want
that.
to see the coffee shop?
Because
Yeah.
here's the thing, if you try to ask Calvin to burn down a coffee shop, he wouldn't do it, obviously.
Never.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to get Calvin to cause the destruction of a coffee shop, it might not be that hard.
And
Yeah.
people don't really know you in this neighborhood. You know, this is a different part of town than you're usually in. So let's all go to the coffee shop.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to draw. I guess there are several coffee shops, right? These new, I forget
Yeah.
if we've given them any names, but very cookie cutter.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not exactly
black and indigo.
cookie cutter.
Black and indigo. I love it. Looming shade.
Ooh.
It's very ominous for a coffee shop.
They're bad news coffee shops.
Yeah, they are. I mean, you terror, doom, impending danger, unseen threats.
So I
get some Duke
think
coffee.
we're in front of a combination coffee shop yoga studio.
Okay.
Yes.
And I think it's called Flexible Grounds.
Flexible grounds. Got it.
And inside, I think it has a layout similar to Wayne's house in that when you walk in, you're in a sphere,
Okay,
kind of,
yeah.
and you walk along the sphere, but there is like this counter with the baristas in the coffee shop.
But what is the coffee shop?
Really?
Okay, cool. So this is
Ooh.
what it says on the outside. Oh, yes. God, I love this game. Dangerous elixir. Jesus. That's delightful.
So yeah, it's got the counter with the baristas and whatnot, and like there's an area where people sit, but the rest of it is kind of a grassy field with yoga mats on it, and it's
Oh,
just
nice.
it's like very very
it.
large and so trendy.
So trendy. Yeah, what are the people like in here?
The people in here are just sort of a variety of people hustling and bustling.
Yeah.
There are a number of people in what would probably be the sort of Saturine equivalent of like North Face.
Yeah. Yep.
Like little sweaters, and a number of people looking down at like hard glass implements, tapping
Yeah.
away at them as they receive and send messages to each other. Just a whole like bustle of people. Some of them are sort of like talking and interacting, but none of them seem to be talking or interacting in a friendly fashion.
Okay.
It's all very sort of cold and unfamiliar.
The meanings of dangerous elixir are power, transformation, risk, and consequences. So I'm really curious what the beverages in here do to these people, right? Is this a place you go to become even more trendy, like, or haughty, or like, you know?
What if it's a place that you go to sort of let loose?
Ooh,
Like, oh, this coffee will really loosen me. And it's not just it'll loosen all of my limbs so I can do yoga, but it'll also sort of loosen my all parts of myself. It's
but it disproportionately loosens maybe the bits that like are
about buying more coffee.
Yeah,
Right, there's some
there's
clever-
there's
It
definitely
loosens your
something
wallet.
sinister
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
place, and it is part of the gentrification effort
Yeah.
to like make this neighborhood more normal
Yeah.
from a shadow perspective.
And it definitely could also be something, the liquid could be something still based off of that Fountain of Youth in the area.
Yeah, excellent. There's definitely a tap they have that's
Yes.
got distillations of the Fountain of Youth. So yeah, this is the coffee shop you come upon, Calvin and Shayna. Are you like keeping your cool? Are you like or are you like glaring at everyone you see?
Shayna's not like straight up glaring at everyone she sees, but she definitely has one hand in just like a fist.
Yeah.
And is just starting to like dig nails into a palm, just like,
Ooh.
This place is great.
You see people bending around impossible, movements on the grassy field.
This must be a really hip neighborhood.
there are a lot of hips involved in yoga, yes.
Especially on that guy, right? And we see somebody is just a construction of bones.
Oh yeah.
Just like
a
60
lot
hips.
of hip bones.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, hey, thank you so much for your help earlier. That
Yeah.
is huge. I probably would have been chasing that pen for goodness knows how long, and I've got so much to make up for. Do you have a topiary person?
A topiary person?
Yeah, somebody who works with topiaries.
Sure, yeah. We could talk about it as we get some coffee.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I definitely owe you a cup of coffee.
Of course, yes.
All right. So what's your game plan here? Is it
So-
are you trying to recruit Calvin? Are
Yeah,
you-
Shayna doesn't know a topiary person.
Okay.
Shayna's lying. Shayna's goal is now in seeing Calvin's like flashy, just sort of everywhere magic with pulling the blood out of his body. She's like, you know what? That can cause some useful chaos, perhaps.
Perfect.
yeah.
You're just gonna try to take advantage of that. All right. So you guys
Exactly.
are going up toward to buy coffee.
Yes.
All right. The person who seems to be taking your coffee orders has is just sort of a floating golden disc with lots of little kind of like a stylized sun, very two-dimensional, like a big flat disc, sun face, lots of little crenellations and beautiful designs happening on it, just sort of floating in front. Gives you a kind of vapid but polite smile and says, "Welcome to Flexible Grounds. We really hope you enjoy your stay. We're here to let you, break free from the ties that bind you, and also gain many health benefits from the yoga. So, have you been here before?"
No. Do you wanna give us the whole spiel?
Is there a spiel? It's coffee, right?
Oh no! Excellent.
There's always a spiel.
So there's a like a bell that tings, and different like platforms are falling from sort of behind her, from this like little ceiling, and there's glass panels full of different liquids sort of bubbling over. It's really well lit, so there are all these like beautiful like example glasses of different drinks you could get. There are things, of course, that I would love if chat would give me some ideas for some of these like drink names or drink abilities. I think there's like lots that goes on here. There's sort of some standard, I just want my cup of joe and to become flexible and all these things. There's the standard bits, but there's also really fancy ones. And yeah, what should some other ones be that they do here? What would particularly make you mad? Oh, there's definitely like some sort of appropriative void punk coffee,
Oh,
right?
yes.
So
Yeah.
that's nice.
Absence.
Yes.
Absence, beautiful.
Yeah.
Does it just look like an empty like encasement, or is it almost hard to look at? Right, your eye.
Yeah, I
there's
think-
something there,
Yeah.
but your eye slides off it.
I think that's it.
Beautiful.
I I know that there's a pumpkin spice latte.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You know that's the drink that Calvin feels most comfortable with.
Oh, yeah. Vanta
Vanta
Black.
Black, yes.
Very good.
Yes.
Vanta Black coffee. What's this pumpkin spice sort of situation? It's going to be something beautiful in fall, but like, what does it do? You know?
Well, I mean, it's about falling. So it helps you fall.
In love.
Yeah, down towards the ground. Yeah.
Calvin doesn't know that. He knows it is the pumpkin spice latte, the ultimate fall drink. That's all it says.
Yes.
Makes you
Calvin's
the
like,
fall guy.
Great.
Oh, yeah, excellent. So you're going to order one of those. What are you ordering? That, of course, Calvin is paying with his very hard-earned
The few
orbs.
orbs that I have, my allowance.
Yeah.
Shayna sort of looks at Calvin, sort of sees the amount of orbs that he has, goes, and looks and just sees what's the cheapest thing on the menu.
Excellent. Let's see. What should it be?
I'm thinking that it's just like a cup of grass. Just like pureed grass. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, a cup of the
I think they sell cups of grass. They offer you pureed or raw.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, yep. So you order a little grass shot
Yes.
of it. The son looks like a little baffled at you two, but sort of keeps it together. Is happy to take your orbs and exchange them for coffee. And where do you guys go? Do you guys go to sit somewhere on the grass or start bending around?
Shayna would lead Calvin towards one of the corners of the sphere.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the corners.
Yeah.
Of a sphere?
Yeah.
You know how spheres are.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
Excellent. So I was kind of drawing a card because I was curious about what inevitable chaos Calvin might get up to. And I drew the rat. So
Calvin's
anyway,
friends.
some inspiration. So are you two just gonna talk for a bit? Are you trying to lead him into, hey, he has the fall drink. Are you
Yeah.
trying to cause chaos here deliberately with that, or?
Well, so the first thing that Shayna's going to do is be like, so tell me a little bit more about yourself, Calvin. I mean, so I saw you do that wonderful Visle magic. Yeah. Oh, don't be so modest, though. Tell me more about yourself.
Well, I recently came out of Shadow.
Wow.
And I've just been spending a lot of time trying to get used to things here.
I think it'd be so weird.
I discovered that I forgot my husband. I made a couple friends. One of them unwrote himself from reality.
That
and the other
happens.
one's on the lam right now, trying to lay low.
That happens less often.
I have an enemy out there from the black. You know about that, right? The dark.
The dark. Oh, yeah, the dark path. Yeah.
The dark path. Yeah. Got one of those. But
you may want to use your free redraw. What is this one thing he said?
excuse me. No, the rats are Calvin's buddies.
Yeah.
So, it's been tough getting adjusted, but after that initial sort of awkward period of figuring things out, I feel like I'm ready to get back to work, whatever my work might be. Well, I got a couple things in the fire and all that. But yeah, I've been looking for jobs to fill my time. I have to spend a lot of time chasing down birds. Things I get and hold sometimes turn into birds.
Interesting.
So that's fun.
So, Calvin, you said you're looking for jobs right now.
Yes, absolutely.
Splendid. So I think I might have a way that could help you out.
That would be
if you want to show me
fantastic.
something.
Wow, what a day.
Yeah, it's really nice every day that I'm next to the coincidence. Everything just sort of seems to work out really so well.
Sure. The coincidence?
Sir Hamish,
Oh, okay.
he's a coincidence.
Why not? Sure, why not? Great, good. I'm glad. Well, this is good though. This is good.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I do a variety of different important local tasks. I assist with different aspects of local governance.
And Calvin is holding his latte in two hands. He's like blowing on it. He hasn't taken a drink yet. He's just sort of nursing it.
Assist, make sure the Garant is doing his whole job. Look towards some of the local landmarks, things like that. And plot. Everybody's got a plot.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yep.
Yeah. So much plotting. My general job idea for you, though.
Okay.
So you're able to do some interesting sort of magic like that, but I'd really love to know some more about it before we talk more about the job.
Of course. This is like an interview or whatever.
Leaves.
I don't have a resume or anything like that.
Well, that's okay.
I am a weaver of the 4th rank. I've mastered 4 different aggregates at this point.
Yeah.
And I've probably mastered countless more that I can't remember.
Well,
So
good for you.
That could help.
Yeah. That sounds just plumb dandy. So, you said you've mastered 4 aggregates.
Yes.
Yeah.
Reliably.
All right. So, could you show me some of them?
I can show you some of them. A couple of them cannot be seen.
Yes.
So, for instance,
You might want to loosen him up first, of course.
Well, yes. Before we really get into that, though, you haven't even touched your drink.
oh God, of course. So, what are the themes of the rat?
The themes of the rat are survival, resistance, shadows, and concealment. It might be something strange is going on with shadows or in the shadows.
I know exactly what's happening.
Okay.
So Calvin
Also, it can be
takes
literal rats.
the latte up to his mouth, and he is about to drink it. He blows on it one more time, and he goes, "Sugar." And for a pumpkin spice latte, Calvin
good.
needs more sugar.
Oh, Calvin.
Calvin runs up the wall over to grab a drink stir and a packet of sugar from the station. He takes the little plastic lid off. He rips open the packet. He stirs in the sugar. He blows on it one more time. And now with the lid off, he's about to take a drink, and it turns into a dozen shadows of black birds that explode out through the room.
We're gonna have to clean those up, aren't
Yeah, so like big ones?
They're shadows of birds. So I think they like zip, and if they like get in too direct light, they just evaporate.
Yeah, but they get in somebody is like hiding out in sort of a little shadowed alcove,
Yeah.
and they get all up in that person's hair, right? So there's somebody. Let's see, who could it be? It's It's a woman with like this elaborately built hair and lots of like little dangly bits coming off of it.
Yeah.
So the shadow sort of cascades around, but gets all wrapped up in the shininess of these danglies. So most of the birds have sort of dissipated, but they're sort of yelling, but sort of relaxed yelling, like, oh, sort of very, very chilled out person is trying to get this shadow bird out of her hair.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to excuse me. I am so sorry. I'll be right back, and we can continue. Please, this doesn't always happen.
Yes, of course not.
He gets up to like run across the room, and stops like quickly and runs halfway back. It does happen frequently, but not always.
Oh, of
and
course
then
not.
He continues back on the rest of his way. It's like, and you can hear in the background, "Ma'am, I'm sorry, just hold still. Please hold still one moment. One moment, please." And I think Calvin has a kind of a bird feeder almost, like something small and portable. Maybe it's like a bird bath.
Okay. Something small and portable. A bird
Well,
bath.
so what? Yeah, what it is like he'll take this like little concave button off of his shirt and he'll put it on the table and like it pops up, and
Nice.
it's like now we play the waiting game, and slowly but surely these shadowy creatures like pop out of this woman's hair and they start going into the bath. And as that happens, he just grabs the birds and like they dissipate as he grabs them.
Yep.
But he hurts his hand a little bit because the birds are a hot drink.
Yes, very big.
Yeah.
Shoot.
So while this is going on, there's a tug at. Are you wearing like a pants or a dress, or what are you wearing?
Today's address.
Today's a dress. Sort of at the hem of your dress,
Yeah.
you feel a little tug. While at the beginning of this whole fiasco, you look down and you see a little, maybe foot high rat with a very regal bearing and a little like collar on, sort of standing up. So these are not the like tall. This is a rat. This is
is a
not the rat
normal rat.
family.
Yeah.
But it is scowling at you. It does this with its fingers, and you see a number of ants sort of crawl up onto the table before you, or the grass in front of you, and start to spell out under our protection. And you see a little golden ship that with Calvin at the helm, with a clear Calvin at the helm, under our protection. And he sort of looks at you for acquiescence.
Can I borrow him?
The rat looks surprised and ponders a moment. Purpose. It writes.
Destroy this building?
I love it. Let's see. The card I drew for, hey, how is this person going to handle it is Fleeting Moment. Lost time, elusiveness, agility, reaction. I feel like this is the fleeting moment of the coffee shop. I think a small rat hand sort of extends.
Of course. I'll make.
Protect.
Yes, of course. And I should be sure to leave out some cheese.
Gathers up all the ants and heads out, but is sort of, I've got a watchful eyes. We are protecting this one on you.
Yes,
All right. So, how are you going to get Calvin to destroy this place? Because he's now tidied up these birds pretty well.
Yes. And I think one of the things that has most unnerved Calvin throughout this whole thing is while these birds were coming out of this person's hair, they still haven't been that perturbed by it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This person's still really, really relaxed. Very, very. And what drink are they having? We have a number of great drinks on chat.
Ambivalent froth.
Ambivalent froth. I love it. That's great.
So they're annoyed, but they're also feeling very relaxed.
Yeah.
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 So after dealing with that whole situation, Calvin walks over, like he takes the bird bath, he slips it back. I think it was like cuff link. He's
Okay.
probably got like some French cuff on his shirt. He comes back over to the table. Look, I got to level with you. You seem like a nice person. You seem like you're really trying to help me, and you've got
Yeah.
my best interest at heart.
I think you're perfect for the job.
Calvin takes out a coin and he places it on the table. Do you understand what this is? It's a rat coin. I am supposed to do something beyond even my understanding. And while I do it, bad things are going to happen. And there are some people close to me who thought that they were on board to face those things down with me, and it didn't work out for them. And I don't know, honestly, how I feel about other people getting involved in all that. So I appreciate the offer to try and give me a job, and you helping me find the pen earlier, and showing me this neat little place, but I can't get random people wrapped up in this without explaining myself first.
Well, I appreciate your honesty and forthrightness. Passes the coin back.
So I understand, and
Yeah, you're perfect for the job.
chaos will
Yeah.
ensue. Institutions will fall.
That's the job.
Walls will crumble.
That's the job.
Okay, maybe I am perfect for this job. What job is this?
Well, so right now, this building that we're in right now. So remember how I said I was helping out some of the local government right now?
Yeah, sure.
Well, I don't know if these people are really up on all of their permits.
Oh.
And so we're going to sort of have to,
So you're like a repo person?
sure, yeah. I'm a repo
I
person.
don't know if I want to get involved in all that. Actuality is great, don't get me wrong. There's just a lot of leftover stuff
Yeah.
that feels like leftover stuff that should not be here. And that is some of it, in my opinion.
And one of those things, I'm sure, is this building. I mean, look at it.
Calvin is going to activate one of his Walks the Path of Sun powers.
Okay.
Ooh.
And it is the power that he has drawn from the indigo sun.
Okay.
Spending some of his sorcery
Nice.
points, as I have since learned that's how my powers actually work. Drawing on some sorcery points, he can spend them to see through illusions and anything that is of the invisible sun.
Beautiful.
So in this, or of the, not the invisible sun, of the anything, you
Gray.
can see through invisible, see through illusions, and see anything of the gray sun. So anything that is gray here,
Yeah.
he'll see it for what it is.
Yeah, let's draw a card just to see what manner of information you get. Misunderstood beast. That's not misremembered dream, but I thought it was for a second. So cool. So yeah, this is a card about something may look really terrifying at first, but secretly it has a kind nature or something. So, but this feels kind of like the opposite of that, right? This is a coffee shop. You felt kind of comfortable.
No, I kind of got it.
Yeah, you got it?
If you peel back what this is, I think there is some kind of Shoggoth-like Lovecraftian horror.
Nice.
That has essentially been that is the bones of this place.
Yeah.
It has been paved over with this coffee shop, and Calvin can see in the many thousands of horrifying eyes of this beast, they're in distress because it's caught in almost like, if you've ever seen like a sea turtle that's like stuck in a
Netting or-
plastic netting
or like a
something
rope.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he sees this horrifying beast, but it is like clearly interwoven with these threads of gray that
Yeah.
make up this coffee shop. And looking around at the different residents of this neighborhood who are in this coffee shop, who are doing yoga, who are drinking their drinks, or who happen to be working at the bar, like he can see those threads weaving them in. They're all caught up in this horrific net.
And the grass that's coming out of the ground, it's not just grass, it's a part of the beast. Little cilia coming off the ground that everyone's trampling on.
Cool.
Just
Yeah.
wrecking the beast in agony as they stretch over it.
What does Calvin see when he looks at you, who has spent so much time and such a different time in shadow, but has tried very hard to cast off those chains?
Yes.
But also, if indigo is a bit about seeing truth, what understanding does he come to, Shayna?
So Calvin would look at Shayna and see a very sort of different sort of person. Unlike the sort of more like open person who's sitting with the interesting sort of looking clothes, Calvin sees someone a lot more sort of reserved, closed off,
Yeah.
with hands soaked in blood.
It's alarming.
Well, this place has certainly got some issues.
One thing I will say is that this card is also about gentleness and friendship. Is there something about the way that he looks at you that intrigues him to trust you?
Well, in addition to the hand soaked with blood, Shayna is
Which, who wouldn't trust that?
Very efficient.
outstretching those hands.
Cool.
And
In your vision.
Yeah, and it is not just the blood of others. It looks like it is also some of her own blood coming
Given.
out of her arms being given.
Cool. Thank you. So you have a alarming vision.
Yeah. Pretty alarming indeed. I think Calvin, looking around and taking in a lot right now. There's the moment of fear where he sees this incomprehensible beast. There's a moment of sadness when he realizes the pain that it's in. There's a moment of shock when he sees all of the other people who have been wrapped up in whatever is afflicting this creature. And finally, what's left over is a moment of anger that any of this could have happened. And he sinks into himself. And he once again drops his hand into his pocket and fiddles with that rat coin before he squeezes it tightly. Takes a deep breath and thinks of Librelite for a brief second before he drops it in his pocket and stands up. And he grabs, oh man, I wonder where he's grabbing it from. Where in here?
Draw a card.
I don't think we need to draw a card to see where he's grabbing.
White a card next. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I'm sure we're going to need it in a
Yeah.
second. He grabs, I guess, he takes a feather that like has been on his person because he was chasing a bird all day, and he blows it into the air, and he grabs from that a string of freedom. And then he slams his fist on the counter. That chaotic noise fills the air, and from that he grabs a strand of thunder and he weaves them together. And with an unbelievable trumpeting sound that, like as we can see through Calvin's vision, sends waves down the webs of this gray illusion that's woven itself around the beast and all of these people. They start to vibrate and violently tear themselves apart with just like joyous trumpeting sounds. And then for a brief second, like the bubble that is the coffee shop, it just pops and everybody is floating in the air for a second to the sound of trumpets. And then everyone falls to the ground at once. And this massive beast roars with 1,000 mouths, and its tentacles are wiggling about. And like Calvin, like having snapped out of, his old self is back in the new terrified version of Calvin that we've all come to know and love.
Yeah.
And is for a moment afraid of this beast and believes that he is about to be eaten. But I think like there's that connection that he felt with this creature. And like he understands that it means him no harm as it slithers down the street and I imagine into the void, which is its natural home.
Ooh, it's very charming.
Yeah.
Nice. So mass chaos is happening. What are you looking like when all of this is going down?
So once everyone sort of pops, Shayna quickly grabs one of her pockets and jumps into it.
Okay. Nice.
So that way she can have that pocket just safely land, and then she hops back out of the pocket.
Beautiful.
Once it's on the ground.
Lovely.
Yes!
Once she also hops back from the pocket, she has 2 knives in her hands.
Okay.
And is just sort of looking around,
Ready?
like, anybody gonna come near me?
Most of the patrons of this are were very lethargic. You see them kind of waking up a little bit more, though, and like coming out of a bit of the reverie that they were in. The monster has sort of slid off. The golden disked proprietor sort of person is sort of zooming about, sort of shouting orders and trying to get things back together. But everything's sort of gone all to chaos. And let us see. I think so you have knives out, and stepping out from around, so this is the card that I knew was coming, so I think it's best to use it for this. This is the Revolutionary. Yeah.
Oh!
So I think
I love him.
you gotta love him. So Revolutionary. Its meanings are lust, sexuality, change, and destruction. A member of the Thaw has appeared.
Yeah, members appeared all right.
A member has appeared.
Wow.
Goodness, probably 8 feet tall in a strange armor in blocky angles. You are, of course, are very familiar with this. You have probably seen the Thaw around, but have mostly escaped their attention. But this was in a very hip district, and the Thaw tend to report very quickly when disturbances go down. So I think we're at an hour and a half, and I know we have secrets to come up after. So I think the Thaw have approached you in all of their imposing nature, and they've this thing has put out 2 long gauntleted arms and is trying to pick you up by the shoulder and pick you up by the shoulder.
Great.
To take in for questioning. So you have your knives.
Yeah.
It just looks at you. It wouldn't be the first time a Thaw took you off for questioning.
Yeah. Shayna lets herself get grabbed, but at the same time still tries to get a few good stabs in.
Okay, excellent. You try, but unless you have some very special knives, these are not doing anything to it. It just sort of
They
looks
just sort
at
of
you.
bounce off the armor.
Yeah, bounce off the
What
armor.
are you doing?
It sends a message.
Continues to drag the 2 of you off for questioning. So I think that's like a good development mode stop point.
Yeah, I
we
think
find
that's
out
pretty
what
much perfect.
happens in a future development mode or possibly a session. We'll see. I think that's the end of development mode. So you have had a very exciting day together. The rats have reappeared. I'm really very interested in what's going on with the rat coin and what the rat destiny they believe Calvin will be able to bring them. I'm really curious what the Thaw have on the mysterious background of our new player here. So there's lots more questions to be had. So I'm not sure where the Kickstarter is at, but for anyone who's maybe tuned in halfway through, we do have a Kickstarter going on right now to try to fund new episodes of this season. We would love to play with these characters. They're awesome, and we have a lot of story questions we'd like to have a tight little arc to explore some of.
Yeah, so right now we are sitting at 2578.
Ooh.
2578, excellent.
So we are about 600 or so away from finishing this whole thing and getting everything funded. I think, let's see, we did an hour and a half. I think because people were kind enough to join us for this preview and whatnot, I think we can get one
one more
secret.
scene.
I think we can get one secret. We can do a little vignette scene
I'm
too.
into it,
But
yeah.
I want to see Darcy read a secret from the
one
secret envelope.
and then a scene. I like that.
So
Okay, yes,
Darcy.
you were all great in chat. Thank you so much, and thanks for giving us the. So I think you may still have a redraw. Did you use yours today?
I do. I have not used it yet.
Cool,
so
but we
I
might
will-
need it for the scene.
I
so.
will. Yeah, we'll use it for the vignette. So while
Okay.
Darcy is drawing that,
There's
I
a lot of
want
text
to.
in here.
Yeah, there's a ton of text.
Oh,
but
no.
you're gonna look at it. You're gonna take out the whole thing and you're
Oh
gonna look
God,
at it for
the first
sure.
sentence is bad.
Yeah.
What?
So I just want to walk people through some of the things that you can do for being different backer levels. At $25, that allows you to get the PDF for Season 1. So if you watched Season 1 of Woman with Hollow Eyes, but you didn't back the first Kickstarter, and you want to get at the backer-generated content for that, you would back at that level, and you'll be able to get whatever we generate for Season 2, which, because it is a smaller season, is probably going to be less. Darcy is having a moment right now.
Oh my God.
And you will also get Season 1. That also allows you to create a flux. So sometimes rolls don't go great in this game. And when they don't, a flux happens. And last season, fluxes caused no end of pain and misery for us. A flux invented Spoon Wayne.
Wow.
A flux was responsible for Calvin being temporarily blind for a couple episodes. Fluxes can have a dramatic effect on the game, especially the way we play with them. So if you manage to get go in at that level, you'll be able to contribute to that. Darcy, how are you feeling after? Just give us some of the emotions that you're feeling.
Yeah, I'm reading one section, but it's fundamental. It is a fundamental shift, and it definitely would have changed how it definitely would have changed how I read events of the last season and presumably events of this season.
Wow.
Ooh.
Wow, that's wild.
So it's
Fundamental shifts.
such a fundamental change to the setting
Yeah.
that would you have played last season differently, or the implications of what happened last season are just?
I think the implications of what happened last season. I think it may have changed. Knowing what I know now, I may have done different things, but everything is still consistent, right? But the implications of those actions are really different now in a very specific area.
Well, we're not going to reveal any of these secrets. What we're doing is, when we reach different Kickstarter benchmarks,
Yes.
Darcy will read another secret from the secret envelope, and we get to experience her reaction to that, which is a lot of fun.
All I saw was the headings of several other secrets, and I'm very afraid. That first one's a biggie, though.
Wow.
Oh my God.
I'm very, very happy.
I don't know if there are any GMs in the audience who have read this, but I have feelings, and I'm going to need to talk to some GMs about it at the end
Wow.
of this. So,
So we are right now at 2578. I think if we hit 2600 before the end of the stream, we'll have Darcy just
One final.
peruse another one of those. And again, if something miraculous happens and we hit our goal before we finish this next vignette, we got two secrets. These aren't envelope secrets.
Yeah.
These are secrets that you only get when you buy pendants and other props and things. These, that's so secretive. It's so secretive.
Wow.
And they could be yours.
they are not for sale. So they either are yours or you will not see them.
Right. You
But
get to experience
you could
them
experience
with
what
us.
they are.
Yes.
Yes.
They are less mind altering than the ones in here.
Sure.
But they are still wild and fun and out there.
No less mind melting, and that's what we're looking for. So I guess now we're doing vignettes.
Okay,
and
let's do a
other
vignette.
scene. Yeah.
Sure.
Is there something? Do we want to do a vignette of you guys in questioning down at the thaw? Do we want to do a flashback of one of your individual stories? It doesn't have to be your two characters.
I would like to learn a little bit more about Adira's character.
I'm really
Yeah,
curious
it's
about
possible.
Shayna.
Sure.
Can you think of maybe a time? It could have been is there something that you're interested to find out about your character or explore? That we could see?
Yeah.
I feel like the microscope effect of ask a question, how did Shayna, find her new house, or how did Shayna
Are
do a
there
thing?
any questions that the
Great point.
Yeah, what does
chat
chat
has
wanna know?
for Shayna?
Yeah,
Yeah. Can I actually see the key for a moment?
yeah. Could you pass the key?
Yes, the key is right here.
I need to look up how one of my things works.
While we're doing this, I want to remind everybody that currently A Woman with Hollow Eyes is also being produced as a podcast in addition to these streams. We're taking the audio from the streams of season 1 and we're re-editing them. I accidentally, when I sent off the last batch of audio, skipped ahead too far, so it's delayed right now, but hopefully that will be resuming the regular schedule soon. We want to be putting them out bi-weekly and usually on Thursdays, I believe. So watch out for that. We're going, I think we just wrapped up Calvin, Kitty, and Wayne being in the library where they got the diary that belonged to Vittoria Zhu.
Yes.
So that it was a fun trip down memory lane, and all of those episodes are being edited and scored by Will Levendahl, who is somebody who's not just editing the podcast to take out pauses and whatnot, but actually incorporating original music designed for A Woman with Hollow Eyes. It's really cool. So with that, we have a couple questions.
Great questions. I've missed you, chat.
Yeah, when was the last time Shanna got picked up by the thaw? Why is she so hostile towards the Deathless Triumvirate? That's a big one.
Yeah.
Did Shanna ever consider another order before apostate? I think those are really cool questions.
Yeah.
Which of those to call out?
So, with a flashback like this, would it be covering just Shayna's time returning from Shadow, or would it also possibly cover beforehand?
I think we could cover beforehand, but I would say pre-war, and we kind of gloss over, a lot of details. So
Something that has been made apparent to us is that Invisible Sun isn't supposed to deal with pre-war too much.
It
There's
really
not
isn't.
a lot established about it.
But we tend to be interested in that. So
We're gonna go to if there's something forbidden in Invisible Sun, you go to the place that is forbidden.
Yeah.
it's the one-shot way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm. A lot of people seem to be very interested in talking about how Shayna decided to become an apostate, and I'm very interested to find that out too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's start then. So this is. Do you want this to take place pre-war then?
That was my general thought.
Okay.
Is that Shayna likely became an apostate before the war. Yeah.
All right, let us begin. Let's set the scene with Monarch, the sovereign of, I think that's mysteries. Monarch, what is your card family, my
I
friend?
believe it's
Your
Notions
heart is
of the Flame Heart Gallant.
Flame Heart. Great. I always have a cheat sheet.
Yeah.
And I haven't built my new one yet.
No.
All right, Monarch. I love this card. It's got two beautiful lion and lioness monarchs on it. Its meanings are authority, judgment, the land, the world. So I'm thinking I think we want to take place. We're in some beautiful royal court somewhere.
Card family secrets, animal, raven, object book.
Secrets, great. Brian Kurtz gave 100 bits for Shayna. Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you. That's great. So yeah, help me set the scene. So you are at this beautiful royal court. There's sort of some kind of big ball happening, right? There's lots of fabulous styles that look very different from modern day Saturnine. So maybe there's maybe the design aesthetic for a lot of them is kind of black jewels everywhere. There's sort of black gems and lots of bright colors, but always accented in these black gems.
Shayna is in front of one of the doors in resplendent-looking armor,
Excellent.
and it appears that she is there for security,
Yeah.
perhaps as a door bouncer, perhaps for something else.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And let's see. So you are standing guard there when a panicked young or no, let's see, that's too Calvin-like. Panicked young is far too Calvin.
Yeah.
When let's see, another member of the guard shows up, looking with something important to deliver to you.
So this guard walks up and salutes. I have urgent news.
Yes.
Can we, let's see,
Yeah.
can I get the themes of
The
this
themes
again?
of Monarch are it's authority. It has to do with. Give me 1 second. Yeah, there's so much we don't know about pre-war. We'll see how we can vignette here. But Monarch is judgment, the land, the world. So in a game narrative sense, a ruler or authority figure might become involved. Someone passes judgment. Someone travels between worlds or the suns.
Okay. Yeah, so they come up to you. All of the guards have been requested to appear in the Great Hall.
All right, then.
I'll need you to move this way.
Of course.
And you notice there's a procession, like you can see down the hallway, of other guards. The person who is approached you is not just another guard of your station. They appear to be of some higher station, like a King's Guard or something
Yes.
like that. And you can see a lot of other people being walked through these halls into this assembly area. And there is a monarch that is standing before you. I think you'd probably recognize them as your employer or something like that. And they look distressed.
So before you stands Lady Enora and Lord, some other name.
Lord Miles Burbank.
Miles Burbank, love it. So they are looking distressed. You're resplendent in armor. Do you have any magical symbols on you, or do you look like a non? Like, are you a
No,
non?
yeah. It looks like prominently displayed on the front of Shayna's
Yeah.
armor is the crest of the Vance.
Vance, beautiful, love it. We should definitely. I didn't bring the Vance Battalion. Darn it. Great. Prominently displayed the Vance symbol. So the two, Lady Enora and Lord Miles, are sort of conferring quietly, and there's a big marble pool in front of them. There's a big chandelier above with sort of floating, shimmering little constellations and things that give a beautiful reflection in the sort of black pool beneath. So as the guards are coming in, Lady Enora asks that you all. We'd hoped this day would never come, but it is time that we ask you to activate each of your wristbands.
Everyone, in the room, sort of unconsciously moves their hands. to it.
This is a tough day for all of us, but the army is at our doors. I'm afraid we can't continue to keep up security at the externalities. The enemy has come, she says, and she's starting to kind of get sort of swept up in it. Lord Miles puts a hand on her shoulder, and enveloping darkness is the card I pull. So as you all sort of get ready to sort of activate your wrist bracelets, the pool that's in the center of the room starts to sort of get swept up. How are you looking when this happens? Are you freaking out? Some of the guards are like, the enemy is here, something's gone bad, we're kind of retreating.
Yeah.
Are you impassive? Are you ready?
Shayna is ready. It looks like her feet sort of shift into a more stable stance.
Yeah.
And she is prepared for what is to come.
Excellent. Who of the guards do you look out across to sort of check in on, or look for comfort from, or to give comfort to?
She doesn't check in on one of the guards. She looks towards Lady Enora.
Okay. And what look does Lady Enora give you?
Lady Enora gives her a look of worry.
Yeah.
But also one of comfort.
Okay. So the light goes off, and both of you sort of ready yourselves for what's to come. So I think we should we hop.
Yeah, of
Let's
course.
hop a moment in the vignette. Sealed door. So all of, actually far fewer of the guards are here. Lady Honora and Lord Miles are both there looking haggard. You look haggard. Are you covered in blood? Are you, something has just happened. There's about a contingent of 6 or so guards and the Lord and the Lady.
Yeah. So Shayna and the rest of the guards are all pressing on a door, trying
Yep.
to keep it closed.
Excellent.
They're all covered in blood and covered in some sort of inky darkness that's begun to sort of like attempt to seep and peel apart their armor
Excellent.
as they all press up against the door as hard as they can.
You have spells. Are you? So there's some people who are holding it tight. Are you casting anything? Are you out? Is your Vanceliness being used here or kept at bay?
Yeah, Shayna appears to have a number of different like runes and symbols
Yeah.
glowing around her that appear to be active spells. But right now she is mostly just focused on the physical act of pushing.
Okay, excellent.
Whether or not those spells are helping her,
Yeah.
it's unclear from the outside.
Lady Honora shouts, we can't get the mists open, and she sort of gestures, and you can see that this cramped hallway has sort of just a misty barrier at the edge of it. There are little alcoves with, this once was very beautiful. There's lots of precious little statuettes and swirling concoctions, and something that has a little fish in it that's sort of moving about and is trying to peer around its enclosure to look at what's happening. This is one of the many beautiful places in this palace. But the mists behind you are not opening. So Lady Inara is sort of putting her hands up there, and it's not working, and that door is continuing to budge.
Shayna looks to the other guards and goes, "Hold it," and turns and goes towards the mists. As she heads over there, she pulls what looks like a mostly ceremonial sword, because she was on ceremonial duty beforehand,
Yeah.
and attempts to begin to just smack it
At the mist.
flat side onto the mist.
Excellent. Forbidden game.
That's my card.
I know.
the card.
I know. Yeah.
Here's what's going on. You left a bunch of unnamed NPCs to hold that portal.
Yeah.
And I think we can see at the ground, like as it's thump, thump, thump. And this ichor is seeping through armor, trying to peel it away. We can see beneath the door at the floor, the threshold, veining through the ground, tendrils of what the modern citizens of Satyrine would know as hate, as we can
Yep.
see a hate cyst forming in the ground beneath their feet. And we hear a scream as one of them realize the hate has connected with the ichor that was tearing at their armor, and all of a sudden that ichor is moving more quickly and forcefully, and it drives them into the others who are trying to hold the door closed. I think while Shayna is slapping at this mist with the sword,
Yeah.
they manage to get through a small amount, which I think Lady, what was the lady's?
Lady Inara.
Lady
Inara.
Inara. Lady
Inara.
Inara, without hesitation, moves to go through the door. And the Lord is
Through the mist.
is trying to go through the mist as well, while the door thumps and thuds. There is a moment where you realize that you are going to have to face what is on the other side of that door if these two are to receive any chance of escape. And I think at that moment, Darcy, you're going to have to help me on this. It's going to be very unfair what I'm about to do to you.
Okay.
For a moment, you see the hate creeping across the ground. You've got this ceremonial sword. You know that there's only so much it's going to be able to withstand in this situation. You may only be able to buy them a few seconds, and that could be enough. You draw yourself and ready as you see the creeping hate move across the ground, and then the air in front of you is filled with a fiery burst. And time seems to stop and slow down. The flames grow larger and heavier, and they fill the air with a form. It's a creature that has 2 heads and 6 legs and gigantic wings. It looks you in your eyes and it says, "Behold us!" An angel now stands in front of you looking at you as the hate is still creeping, but at a greatly reduced rate. And you now stand before Ari Aloha, whose eyes bore into your soul. Shayna the Vance!
Shayna, what will become of you?
Seconds left to live on the path you've chosen, but is this the path your heart desires?
Do you have what you need to give to proceed along it?
What more could Shayna achieve?
Just to remind me, Ari Aloha, the one head always wants you to like push you to.
One head wants you to be the best version of yourself, like wants you to be better as a person.
Yeah.
And the other head always wants you to be true to yourself.
Okay.
So one head is going to be, hey, shoot for the stars. Like you can do anything, anything is possible. And what the other head goes, is that you though? Are you the person that shoots for the stars?
Okay, got it.
I can really only think of one thing right now that might save me.
And what is that, Shayna the Vance?
Death.
Death is a part of you, as it is all of us.
Of all things, death is an inevitability, a destiny.
So Shayna turns, sort of facing away from the angel and facing towards Lady Honora and Lord Miles, and takes the ceremonial sword
Okay.
and stabs them both.
Oh, excellent. So as you love it, so good. As you do so you do Miles first or Honora?
Miles first.
All right, so you kill Miles. I think the time is still sort of slowed down around you. You get to see his eyes slowly move and open to you in total surprise, and he starts slumping. Lady Honora is sort of slowly turning. You move to slay her as well.
I'm sorry.
Excellent. What expression does she have? Is it betrayal? Is
betrayal, shock.
Yeah.
Just a deep and abiding pain.
Okay, excellent. You can see that the wingtips of Ari Aloha are sort of fluttering in irritation and anxiety over what's happening. What do you say?
Shayna turns towards the hate that's flowing in.
Excellent.
Well, who's next?
This was more of a chance to get you to take a look at your life and figure out whether or not you wanted to sacrifice it. It seems like there was more at hand than even Ari Aloha anticipated.
More truth about you abounds. I hope you find it before it consumes you.
Yeah, fuck you too.
Excellent.
Well, bye, I guess.
Excellent. So you are facing off with the hate cyst, right? Your guards presumably looking at you and holding back. And what happens to the hate? Does it
Shayna
come on?
just takes it.
All right.
And turns to go kill the other guards.
All right. So you see Shayna sort of furling onto herself, mixing with the ichor, this horrific, hateful substance, and you can see that the bits of armor, the bit that held her Vance symbol, is absolutely crumbled off. What else about you looks different?
Shayna, her arms extend out from her body, and so do her fingers as more pop up.
Yeah, awesome.
Small blades begin to sort of dot her skin. Her feet widen and take on a very broad stance as the toes begin to sort of splay into a circle as they push off from the ground. A blade of ichor extending from Shayna's arm as she uses it to stab through 3 of the other guards at once.
Laying. Yep. What's the end sort of scene that we see her in? You know, we can sort of do we have her walking off with an empty? Where do we see you last as we sort of end this development mode?
You see Shayna walking just sort of out into the hallway, and it looks like towards the fighting, but not towards the lines she was fighting with before.
Yeah. Excellent. With one big arm, still a blade extending for her, and huge blade feet.
Yeah.
Excellent. I love it. I love it.
Grizzly.
There's a reason this game is forbidden, kids. They wouldn't call it the forbidden game if it was just frowned upon.
Yeah.
It's forbidden. Nice, yay.
Yeah.
I haven't met Ari Aloha, which surprised the bejesus out of me. But I will be
I apologize.
you pre-apologized.
I want to make a version of the Sooth deck that's just sort of a dialed back, chilled out version of the Sooth deck with, the ill-advised game. It's not it's not forbidden, but
They have it at the coffee shop, or they
shouldn't.
did.
Yeah,
of course.
They had the more mellowed out
for
version.
sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
The copper ship.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right.
The hazily remembered prisoner.
Of course.
The stuck door.
The stuck door.
Yeah.
This is very charming. I like it. It's for like the more charming version of the stories you tell.
It's like a children's book
That's very cute.
version of all of them. I
Oh,
love
goodness.
The recommended against game.
Very good. Anything else we need to explore here? What time are we at?
We're at 9:04. I feel like that is close to a good stopping point.
Yeah.
I am going to once again check the Kickstarter, see where we're at.
And then next week we will also have another development mode scene session without me there. So
Yeah, which I am going to try and pull in a guest for that, and that's on. What day was that going to be?
it's going to be. Your phone knows better than I do. Chat, I missed you a lot. Your contributions were amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to be posting a little bit about.
The 30th.
Okay.
Excellent. Yes. So our next development mode session will happen on the 30th.
On
of
Wednesday
January.
the 30th. Yeah,
Yeah.
Wednesday the 30th. We're going to get a guest for that. I hope. I got to get on that. Well, hopefully we'll have a guest here to help us out. And that'll be, some scenes around Saturnine, some fun stuff that we're going to do with that one. But please, if you haven't already, it's going to be at 7 p.m. Central Time, just like this stream, but on Wednesday the 30th instead. If you want to know when upcoming A Woman with Hollow Eyes streams will be, you can always head over to twitch.tv/OneShotRPG and look at our events page. That's where we've posted the schedule for all of our preview streams. And once the season is live, if we manage to fund it, that's where you'll find the schedule of all the games that we're going to stream for season 2.
Yeah.
If you haven't already, please head over to the Kickstarter. You can do that by going to bit.ly/HollowEyes2. That'll pull the Kickstarter page right up. Really, any amount will help us out.
Yeah.
There are a lot of really cool rewards. So I know the Kickstarter link is in chat, but I'm sure Joe will throw that in once more for us.
Yeah, thanks, Joe.
while that has happened, I am now refreshing the Kickstarter funding page. Any amount will help us. $25 is where all the fun rewards start. We are still at $25.78. We have not hit the 2,600 mark.
Okay,
So
no
we
more
will
secrets.
No
not
more
be able
secrets.
to reveal another Darcy secret reaction
That's good.
unless it happens in the next second, because I do know that this updates in real time. But with that, if you enjoyed our first season, be sure to back us. If you are excited about this and you want to see it happen, encourage your fellow listeners to go out and support it, and maybe bring in other fans of Invisible Sun.
Yeah.
Because we'd love to make this.
And thank you so much, folks. This is fabulous. Also, get in the conversation on Twitter, because I was really trying to find music that would make me think about this season. So, and I have a lot of questions. We've built so much great content together, and we're going to keep doing so, especially with the backer contributions if we fund the Kickstarter. But I need help picking which NPCs I want to feature in this upcoming season. So hopefully we can get that conversation going. I might put some polls up because so many good NPCs.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's all I have for us
Yeah,
today.
I think that's all I've got for us too. Thanks everybody so much for watching.
Thank you so much.
I am so excited to bring this to you. I was holding out. Nobody made it. All right, we'll see ya.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Have a great night, everybody.
Cool.
Sweet.
So
Read
if
more
it's not
things.
dead, we have one more secret. We have one more secret.
That's very stressful. Thank you. Oh no.
We hit
Okay.
the 2,600 mark.
Should I learn a secret about?
Yeah, read the titles.
Yeah.
All right. If people would like to be totally unspoiled about what secrets are even about, here's where you want it cut off. So goodbye, those of you who don't want to be spoiled at all about
Bye.
even the category of secrets. I love you. It's okay to not be spoiled. The rest of you, who wants to hear about death, gods, or the war? Death, gods, or the war. So
All of those sound dope as
Yeah.
hell.
I haven't. The text is too small for me to read just at a glance, so I don't know what any of them are. All right, so we got some war.
The war, don't do
We
the
got
war,
don't
death.
war, death.
So, and again, this is just Darcy is going to read it. She's not going to read it out loud
Aloud.
to the
Correct,
stream.
correct.
We're just going to interpret. There's a lot of
Death
people
it
love
is.
death.
Yeah.
People love death. Okay, this is me reading the secret about death. Oh no!
What?
No!
What could that mean?
That's horrible.
What?
I'm so excited.
This was a short one, but it's very, very bad. No! Wow. Okay, well, now I know that about death. There's a reason you're not supposed to know anything about death. This is the reason,
Wow.
and now I know it. Gosh darn it.
What?
No!
Oh, people want to see a close-up of the envelope.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely show off that close up of the envelope.
Wow. I have a lot of feelings about that one.
I love this. I'm gonna go check if there's any more activity on the Kickstarter page.
Thank you
because
so much, whoever boosted us over.
Yeah,
That's very
that was
thank you.
dope. That was dope.
Also,
Yeah, and-
this secret reading process is exactly as painful as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, wow, we're at 99 backers right now.
Oh,
Wow.
fabulous.
I do feel if we get to 100 backers, that is kind of worth another
That is
secret. And it would be
kind of,
extremely cool to see on air. That,
Yeah.
I mean, if you back at $1, that'll get us there. I love seeing these
Waxy
reactions. We've got 99 backers, and we're so
like you
close
were,
to
Albert.
100 backers.
But yeah, anyone who's a GM who's read this envelope, talk to Darcy, because Darcy needs
I need
someone to talk to
support.
about this.
I need some support.
Yes,
I need some support.
Onward Waffles, you were most certainly backer. We hit backer 100. We are at 100 backers. We get to experience
Okay, one more secret.
another secret. Darcy gets to read another secret.
I guess I'm glad
Death
I'm
was so wild to
Yeah.
her.
okay.
I don't know if this is necessarily gets to now or it's is forced to. Darcy
Yeah.
must read.
Okay, what are we thinking then, folks? Do we want? There's some like weird stuff on here. Very cool. All right, gods or the war?
Both of those sound like they're going to be extremely illuminating.
Oh boy. All right, we are really torn between gods and the war.
Yeah. There's another count for war. There's another one for gods. Oh, it's neck and neck. We might be at a point where we draw
A card?
Sooth card.
Oh my gosh! Can we draw from the chill sooth card sooth deck? Oh, whoever was 100 should decide. That would be great.
Yeah, we're at 101 right now. Well, actually, I think I might be able to tell.
A card's a good
Backer
choice.
report.
You should draw.
Probably.
Oh, sure.
If I have to keep reading secrets,
Yeah.
someone else has to be complicit in
Backer
this.
number 100 was Stephanie.
Ooh. They may not want to connect that name with whatever username.
There's no
but,
last name or anything like that. But Stephanie is 100.
Thank you, Stephanie.
So
Thank you, everybody.
if you don't want your username to be known, you can whisper to Joe.
Yep.
And that is
Joe will tell us.
assuming that Stephanie was even watching this stream, which they may not have.
Yeah.
In the meantime, so we'll give that a moment, but let's see what the cards tell us as well.
The swan.
The swan, beautiful.
One more
What does that
godly
mean?
Or warlike.
I
Based
bet.
off of general human connotations, swan is likely, for at least me personally, more warlike.
I can see swans being pretty warlike. Though they are deific. I mean, didn't Zeus
They're
become
not
a swan?
Yeah, but like, it wasn't to do fun stuff. It was just like to have a bunch of weird bestiality. Not like
Yeah.
fun god stuff.
No. The
Just
swans,
boring everyday god stuff.
This seems like the swan from afar, which is
Yes.
the meanings are good fortune, good weather, latent talents. The weather calms, someone gets a lucky break, something unexpectedly fortuitous occurs. None of this is particularly reading war to me.
Yeah,
this is
that
suggesting
feels-
gods.
That feels more gods than war.
So I'm gonna go with gods.
Okay.
I know we were really torn unless I hear that the DM happens.
No whispers or DMs yet. So I think we've got to give it to the gods.
Okay. Starting strong.
Backer 101 said gods, yeah.
Okay, cool. That's perfect. So there's gods are not what you expect. Okay.
Invisible Sun, something is that it's what you expect.
Wow.
Ooh.
Impossible.
The secret is
That
gods
I'm
are
suspicious
gods.
of, yeah.
I will remind you all that we have heard of gods because the library scene happened at the Library of Roll. Roll, the left-handed god.
Oh, that's right. Now, gods are different than wardens, right?
Yes.
So that, like, do we know anything about gods, really?
Well, Darcy does.
Someone
Darcy
does at
now,
this table.
for sure.
Wow. Ooh. That is very intriguing. That's really cool. I want to explore that very badly. Ooh. Oh, goodness. Now I'm even more curious about what the connection between wardens and gods are. I wish there was a warden secret on here, because I'm so curious about what the deal is with
I
wardens.
mean, we gotta know. I gotta know. I gotta work very hard to figure that out. I might already know and have forgotten.
You probably have.
What a fun
maybe
thing.
multiple times.
All right.
Those are the secrets.
Those-
Thank you, everybody, so much for making that
Thank you.
happen. I'm glad that I don't have to read all of it alone. I feel it's a little more manageable now. And I'm excited to see how this reflects on the campaign. So, especially if you help me craft like locations or NPCs or an episode, you will definitely be consulted with me on some of these secrets if you want to know them, because I may try to weave them into an episode. So, your spoilery taste will be, I'll talk to you, any backers who have like meetings with me about whether they want to be spoiled or not.
What pledge levels are those, James?
So that would be like if you're crafting an episode or something like that.
That's our wardens.
That would be Soothsayer and Warden levels would probably where we're approaching that. Warden is the $500 level. The Soothsayer level where you craft a development mode session with Darcy.
Yeah.
Like that would probably also broach that, and that's about 250. So if you're really interested in jumping in there and just stirring that plot
Yeah.
soup a little bit, that is probably what you're looking for.
So much came out of those kinds of contributions last time. So
Yeah.
thank you so much, everybody.
Yeah, thank you so much.
My heart is fuller.
We've got 13 days to go.
Yeah.
We're sitting at 2639 right now,
Sweet.
which is a great number to be at. I feel very good about our chances of finishing funding. But yeah, be sure to talk about it, pass it on, listen to the podcast,
Yeah.
and we'll see you next week on the 30th.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Stay
Night.
safe in shadow.